Boomer sellouts.
What do you mean I can't sell my house for $1 million? That's a 3-bedroom starter house.
That's meant for a family. Everyone else was doing it.
I don't understand. I bought my house for a nickel in 1982. Why can't I
Sell it for $1 million. Life is so unfair for us boomers. I've only had 50 years of a good housing market. Is this so much to ask?
Maybe I should sell my house just a little bit cheaper and make sure it goes to a family that could spread their wings and live a life that all of us boomers had. Nah, fuck that shit.
I want to fucking die with $1 million in my coffin. Hell yeah.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. I just want to give a quick shout out to my first Faye ambassador. Shout out to Nefertiti. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you guys want to sign up for memberships or sign up to be an ambassador as well to receive a shout out, the link will be in the description down below. Hey y'all, I just wanted to pop in here and have a brief conversation about the housing market and how it's completely trash. Whether you are trying to buy a house or rent a house, we don't have the cards, okay? We don't have the cards as millennials, as Gen Z. We do not have the cards when it comes to buying a house or even renting a house. But in particular, for today, I want to focus on renting. Justin and I, we have gone through the process of renting a house. Luckily, the first house we were able to rent was through actual people, right? It's owned by people, not a corporation, but people. And even finding a house to rent by somebody human, not like a corporation, even back then, it was already difficult with a real estate agent. As our lease is ending shortly, we were looking to rent another house. And we were going on Zillow, we were going on all these different websites, we were driving around, okay? We did all our due diligence to try to find another house to rent. But here's the problem. Majority of the houses that you would want to rent or you would qualify for renting or that would have a price that is reasonable for you, reasonable for your family. Majority of these houses are owned by companies. They're owned by corporations. To name a few, you have Tricon, you have Invitation Homes. There are a few of these companies that own pretty much all of the real estate. It is atrocious, you guys.
While you're sitting there waiting to time the market crash or just time the market in general, investment companies are buying hundreds of homes a month in the US. Take a look at this.
A Toronto-based company that has quietly become one of the largest owners of single-family homes in the United States.
So today, we own about 30,000 single-family rental homes across the U.S., largely in the Sun Belt, and we've got probably about 75,000 people living in our homes. We have an incredible amount of demand for what we do. So, Leslie, in any given week, we might have 200 or 300 homes available.
For renting.
For renting. And we get about 10,000 leasing inquiries a week.
Tricon is trying to buy 800 houses a month. And there are companies even bigger. Invitation Homes owns more than 80,000 rental houses.
And the part about it that makes this so terrible is that housing is just all business. People just want a stable place to live. They want fair rent. They want a decent landlord. But now housing is just a subscription service, a profit extraction machine, and riddled with endless fees. You find a house, you think it looks good, you find out, boom, it's owned by a corporation. Multiply that experience times 1,000, okay? Multiply that experience times 1,000. You're looking in different cities, different counties. You're looking all over the place trying to find a house that is owned by a homeowner, a real human being. And every single time you get hit with this company, that company. And there's only like a few companies that I'm seeing, but they own damn near all the houses and they're renting them out. Here's the reason why renting from an actual human is so much better than a corporation. When you rent from an individual landlord, there's flexibility, there's human interaction, there's actual communication. When you have a problem, you know exactly who you need to talk to. You don't have to sit on the customer service wait line or, type into the app, hey, I need this fixed, and then wait a gazillion years for it to get fixed, or it never actually gets fixed, and then they blame you for it and take your security deposit. With a corporation, everything is automated, everything is cold, everything is just policy driven. There's no leeway, there's no give and take. It's just, this is what it is. Get over it or move out, loser. And we're gonna keep your security deposit in the process. They nickel and dime you the entire way. Application fees, admin fees, convenience. What the hell is a convenience fee? None of this is convenient. So what the hell is convenient about any of this? Pet fees, trash fees, mandatory service packages. Every little thing becomes another charge. So the rent price that you saw that looks so good and so appealing, it turns into damn near double that once they tack on all those damn fees. You were happy in the house charge. You were sad in the house charge. You parked in the garage charge. Like, it's just they want to nickel and dime you for every little thing, but let you have a problem in that house where they are supposed to fix it and they will drag their feet to get it fixed. And you're not even getting the full experience of the property because this is broken, that is broken. And they're slumlords, so they're not really trying to fix it. And then they make you wait forever to even hear back from them. Even before you get into the house, you know, I got ahead of myself, but even before you get into the house, the application fee is a problem. This is the one that really frustrates me the most. Imagine you're shopping around, you're trying to find a home to rent because right now you're not in a position to buy, but you really need a home to rent because you have a family, you want to be in a safe area, you need the space. Or maybe you work from home and again, need the space. With these application fees, what these companies are doing is they're collecting hundreds, thousands of applications, and they charge everyone a fee. We already know you can only pick one tenant. So what ends up happening is they will accept all of these applications and then reject damn near everybody. They'll reject damn near everybody to the point where it's like, okay, well, you just have the house on the market so you can get the application fee. People are spending money repeatedly just to apply. And most of the time, it just feels like they're profiting off of rejecting you. At a certain point, tenant screening is just a side hustle for them to pay the mortgage on their house, or if they paid it in cash, just pocket the money off of people applying for a house that they never intend to rent out. And even the whole entire idea of a starter home for a family is completely disappearing. Houses are not affordable. So now we become renters, perpetual renters, because buying a house, it's not a thing anymore. It's not a thing for a regular family. And the part that I really want to get into is who caused this problem. As much as everyone wants to say millennials are just lazy, Gen Z is just lazy, y'all are just so lazy. The truth of the matter is the boomers sold us out to the highest bidder. You have these boomers that bought their houses when the market was chef's kiss, and they've been sitting on these houses. And even if they have children they could pass it down to, even if they have grandchildren they could pass it down to, great-grandchildren they could pass it down to, they are choosing to not keep that in the family. They are choosing to just sell it out to whatever corporation is willing to offer them the most money. Let's say you and your family put some money aside, you planned ahead, you have good credit, you have everything in order, your ducks are in a row, and you go to try and buy a house. I'm sorry, if you end up with the boomer, what's gonna happen is you're gonna find yourself, especially if you're in an optimal area, you're gonna find yourself in a bidding war with these corporations. Now, who do you think, let's keep it a buck here. Who do you think is going to win a bid war? A regular schmegular family with two parents working, maybe even multiple jobs, versus a corporation whose goal is to buy 300 houses a week? Seriously, who do you think is going to win?
Let's shake this up. They do a reverse mortgage on their home, which means they essentially give their homes to the bank. The bank gives them money monthly installments for their home. That sucks because instead of giving it to their descendants or giving it to a family member or giving it to a millennial or a single family who needs a home, they give it to the banks. And what do the banks do when they die? They sell their home for nothing. They sell it to developers, they sell it to corporations, and what they do is get it for pennies on the dollar. Do those homes go to single families or new millennials who need a house? No, it goes to renting, to Airbnbs, because they just want to offload the property. You can directly speak to a seller, to a boomer, and say, look, you can finance with me. I'll pay you whatever the bank is going to pay you for your home. And when you die, you can make me the remainder man. We can create this as a life estate, and then I'll own the property. You're not going to make any money off of the property either way. The equity and all that stuff is cooked. Give it to somebody who needs it. And that's another example of how they're strong arming us. So whenever they want to make these excuses that we're being entitled, we don't deserve their homes and this, that, and the third. There are things in place called life estates, called remainderments, that can put the property in the hands of a millennial, pass it down to someone who really needs the home.
And these boomers have no loyalty, none whatsoever. They have no loyalty to the youth. They have no loyalty to their own offspring. They have no loyalty to anybody. So they will literally sell us to the corporation rather than waiting for an actual family that needs a home, that has the money, has the good credit, has all the things. Rather than waiting for them, they are quick to sell that house to BlackRock. They're quick to sell that house to JP Morgan, everybody but a human family, because the boomers are extremely selfish. They're extremely selfish, and they still live in 1965, okay? They still live in 1970. They have not come into reality with the rest of us, that the market is what it is. They have not come into reality with the rest of us, that the job market is what it is. So what they'll do is they'll get on here and say, well, y'all just need to work harder. See, back in my day, I opened a lemonade stand and I was able to buy my first house all cash. I'm sorry, Janice, but if we try to open up a lemonade stand nowadays, they'll open up another lemonade shop ran by immigrants for cheaper and then price us out the market. And even if you were trying to not even just be an entrepreneur, you were just trying to get a regular schmegular everyday job. Let's say you want to go into accounting. Let's say you want to go into construction. You are fighting to get a job and they are just throwing your application out the window the moment they see that you are a U.S. citizen. The moment they see that, it is not the same, Janice. The America you lived in is not the America of today. The America of today does not prioritize Americans at all. And y'all were the ones who made it so. Most of the politicians in office when things were going to hell were fucking boomers. Y'all sold us out. Y'all sent the jobs overseas. Y'all voted to allow a bunch of people to come in and invade America and take all the jobs. Y'all voted for this. And now, at the very least, you could just wait and hold out and sell your house to an actual family that needs one. But no, even now, your selfish ass would rather sell it to a corporation who is not going to put a real family in there. They're just going to rent, or even worse, pocket a bunch of application fees and let the house just sit there rotting. Boomers have no loyalty to their own children, their own grandchildren, and they don't have loyalty to the younger generation as a whole.
The transfer of wealth that will happen when the boomers die is going to be the transfer up into corporations, including the healthcare systems, pharmaceutical companies, etc., etc. There will not be anything for Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z to inherit. Of course, this is an overgeneralizing statement, and there are some people who planned well financially and who are going to be able to hand down some wealth to their kids or grandkids, such as like maybe a paid off house, or I guess at least life insurance for some people. But for the most part, healthcare, end-of-life healthcare, especially over the last 10 years of your life, is perfectly positioned to siphon all of your assets.
Now, granted, that is a general statement. I'm sure there are some boomers that are awesome. They kept their houses in the family. They passed down wealth and resources to their children and their grandchildren. They waited to sell their house to a well-to-do family. And shout out to those boomers. If it don't apply, let it fly, okay? If it does not apply to you, let it fly past you. Because I'm talking about the specific set of boomers that don't give a damn about anybody but themselves, and they will ruin America all in an effort to have their little beach house so they can do the little two-step in their walker while the rest of us fight for our lives, and then have the nerve to tell us, well, you should just work harder. You should just bootstrap your way up. Bitch, we've been trying to bootstrap our way up. You took away the strap and the boot. You sold the boot to the corporation, and the corporation has no incentive to give it back to us or to even sell it back to us. So the entire market for renting a house, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You try to find a house owned by real people, you're hard pressed to do that. Even if you're trying to buy a house, now you have to get into a bidding war with BlackRock, who has a bigger bank. Okay, big bank, take little bank. And all of this is because boomers, they didn't give a damn. They don't care about the rest of us. They just want to live as long as possible and leave nothing behind for anyone else. They don't care. And when you tell them about the struggles that you have going on, they don't want to hear it. Because back in 1965, but honey, it's not 1965, it's 2026 or 2020 whenever you're watching this video, because I highly doubt this problem is going to fix itself by 2027 and onward. It's just going to get worse. So if you are trying to rent a house, if you are trying to buy a house, I am so sorry. The market is trash. Justin and I, we've been going through it just like a lot of y'all are probably going through it. And it's unfortunate because you have a lot of well-to-do people that are working hard. They have their main job, they have a side job, and they have a side hustle, and they do this and they do that. We have so many different things that we're doing to try to bring in money, but it's not keeping pace with the inflation of everything. And it's not enough to compete with major corporations like BlackRock. So home ownership is becoming a thing of the past. They want it to be own nothing, be happy. That is what everything is geared towards, whether it's media, whether it's your house. They want it to be even for the cars. They don't even want you to be able to own your own car, let alone anything else. Even the PlayStation, they don't even want you to own a damn PlayStation anymore. They want you to rent a goddamn PlayStation. It's completely out of order. It's out of pocket. And there has to be some type of reckoning, because we cannot continue to go down this path of having nothing. You pay all this money into something and then they could just take it away from you. I want you guys to understand the implications of this. This is not a left or right issue. A lot of people, they will hear me talk and they'll be like, oh, this is right-wing propaganda. Understand, this should not be politicized. This is something that is going to affect you whether you are red, blue, green, whatever, the independent, it doesn't matter. This whole machine of own nothing and be happy will be the death of us. Because guess what? If they own it, they can arbitrarily tell you you no longer have access to it, even though you've been paying for it, even though you've paid more than what it's worth, because it's a subscription model. That is scary. Whether it's left or right, pulling the strings. Oh, well, you said something on Twitter we didn't like, so now we're just gonna confiscate your house. We're gonna just confiscate this. Because they own it, they can do whatever the hell they want. So please, y'all, if you are a boomer and you're trying to sell your house, wait for a family. I know, people got different situations. I have that nuance of I understand, but at the same time, we have to put our feet down for something. We can't always lean on the excuse, well, it's hard. Well, I'm going through this. Well, I'm going through that. So you sell out everybody, you make the problem worse. The reason why you can't do this, you can't do that is because of this very problem. So everybody that kowtows to the problem is now feeding into the problem itself. So I get it. It might not be easy, but please wait for a well-to-do family, or at least keep the property in your family. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole video? Are you like me and Justin, where we've been trying to figure things out and it's been literal hell, whether it's trying to find humans to rent from or trying to find a starter home that's affordable? What has y'all's experience been? And if you are a boomer, please sound off in the comment section and tell us why. Well, if you're in the camp A of boomers where you sold us out, tell us why. And if you are in the camp B of boomers that rode hard for their relatives, rode hard for the next generation and didn't sell out, please sound off and tell us why you didn't sell us out. Or do you disagree with me where it's like, you whippersnappers just need to work harder? I sold a grape in 1955 and I was able to buy a $5 million house for 20 cents. You guys just are entitled and lazy. If you like the video, The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that's for you, okay? If it's for you, hype the video. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.